we have to talk about the Soul Survivor, and it's no surprise here if you've listened to more than one episode. We have our bingo, our theoretical bingo sheet, and on there somewhere is Vince complains about Fallout 4, and we bring up Kyle, and I'm honestly surprised.
That's a staple of every episode.
Yeah, I'm surprised we made it this far without talking about Kyle.
I love that man.
I fucking love Kyle. I want to hold Kyle. I just want to tell him how special he is to me.
I want to be like him when I grow up.
But we have to
Aren't you older than Kyle?
What's up?
Aren't you older than Kyle, Chris?
Yeah, but I still want to be like him when I grow up.
I understand.
We have to talk about the Soul Survivor. We have to talk about Mr. Voice McGee. And I'm going to bitch and moan, piss, whine, and complain a little bit, because that's just who I am. But then we're going to talk to Chris about some stuff. So I'm just going to go. I'm just going to read. You guys ready?
Wait, before you get into it, the reason that we have our very good friend Chris here is because he's our resident Fallout 4 expert.
Well,
Yeah.
and let me clarify, actually, because I would not consider myself an expert, actually, by any means. I'm really just, like, a big fan who just is such a big fan that I happen to know a lot about the game only because I played it through Fallout 4, like, 15 times. So if that makes me an
more
expert...
than Vince and I combined.
I don't think that makes me an expert, but if it makes me close enough to an expert for this evening, for this show, then like I'm all for it. So
You've played this game more than anybody I know.
I mean, I've played it more than anybody I know too.
So I'm just going to jump right into it like I do with the protagonist. I'm reading straight from fallout.fandom.com, where I get all of my lore. The Soul Survivor is either a male retired from the U.S. Army, or named Nate, or a female law school graduate. According to the pre-war records of the Lookout at the USS Constitution, Nate served in the 2nd Battalion 108th Infantry Regiment, while his wife Nora was a lawyer. At some point
That's
at the
most
scene...
likely infantry.
What's up?
You said infamy. That was probably infantry.
Oh, it was infantry. Sorry. That's a slip
Sorry.
in the key of Freudian right there. At some point during the Sino-American War, the Soul Survivor married, had a son named Sean, and bought a robotic butler named Cogsworth. On October 23rd, this is our Great War episode.
Oh, shit. It is.
Yeah, happy Great War, everybody.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to release, 2 days after the Great War, I think?
I think it's Friday. So it's going to,
Friday.
the 24th.
So it'll be a day after.
So,
yeah.
Hey, everybody, Mazel. Only another fucking, 60, 70 years? No, I'm stupid. Fucking 50 years, 57 years until we all get to perish.
Thank God, honestly.
I know, right? I'm fucking tired of this place. On October 23rd, 2077, the Soul Survivor was preparing for an event at the Veterans Hall in Concord, while a Vault-Tec representative approached the family with pre-approved papers, a lot of alliteration there, for access into Vault 111. Moments later, a newsreader announced that nuclear detonations were being reported, forcing the Soul Survivor and their family to rush into Vault 111. They were sealed in cryogenic stasis under the pretense of being decontaminated by Vault-Tec scientists. The Soul Survivors kept almost undisturbed in this state from 2277 to 2287. In 2227, the Soul Survivor and their spouse are awakened by 2 seen unknown individuals and 1 off-screen, who opened the spouse's cryogenic tube with the intent of kidnapping Sean. Though conscious, the Soul Survivor is trapped in their cryogenic pod and is powerless to do anything but watch their spouse be shot and their child abducted by 2 mysterious figures. The Soul Survivor is refrozen, awaking in 2287 and escaping the cryogenic tube. Learning that they are the Soul Survivor of Vault 111, the Soul Survivor emerges from the vault and vows to avenge their spouse's death and locate their son, Sean. The male voice actor is Brian T. Delaney, and the female voice actor is Courtney Taylor. Returning to their original home, the sole survivor arrives in Sanctuary Hills, which is now ruined from the bomb's blast. When they meet the distraught Cogsworth, revealing that the sole survivor is over 200 and reveals to the sole survivor that over 210 years have passed since they were frozen in the vault. Also telling the player character to go to Concord for help. The sole survivor then meets Preston Garvey, one of the last Minutemen in the Commonwealth, and assists him with protecting settlers from a group of raiders and a Deathclaw. Because at level 2, you should be given a minigun, power armor, and fight a Deathclaw.
Yeah.
Of
course.
Yeah. Just give me a minute.
Please love our game.
After helping
hey, look,
Garvey,
our fancy new Deathclaw model, you can kill it.
Yeah. You know, it scales with you, so if you just leave and don't come back to your 40, you'll fight like a really strong Deathclaw.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I did know that actually, and I love that.
After helping Garvey and his group, the player character is instructed to go to Diamond City, a settlement based on Fenway Park, where they meet Piper Wright, the best companion in the game. The city's reporter who tells the player character to seek out the city's detective, Nick Valentine, who is revealed to have been missing 2 weeks prior to the sole survivor's arrival in Diamond City. After finding Valentine, they identify the location of their spouse's killer, a man named Connie Kellogg. Tracking him. Did we do an episode on Kellogg?
We've talked about Kellogg before. I don't think we've actually done one dedicated to him.
Kellogg's the man. He's from San Francisco.
It would be awfully helpful if I uploaded all the lore so I could just search it.
Wow, you said it before me. You're on top of it tonight. Yeah, he has ties to the She.
I think that's when we last talked about him, was the She.
Yeah.
Oh, we also talked about him when we talked about the DLC, the foggy one.
Far Harbor?
Yes, that one. I think we mentioned him in that episode.
I don't know why, but I wanted to say Far Harbor like JFK.
Can you please give me a sample of that?
Far Harbor. Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys. God damn it, dude. Somebody call Bobby. Dude, when I'm at work and no one's around, I'm like, I must complete a task and then call Marilyn.
Have you done that for my dad?
I haven't. I just started doing a JFK voice. Somebody call my secretary. Wait, who's somebody get Lyndon B. Johnson on the phone. We're going to do cocaine in the Oval Office. It's not good to make yourself laugh, but it makes me laugh.
If you can't make yourself laugh, then what's the point?
All right, so Connie Kellogg, tracking him down, Kellogg reveals that Sean is in the Institute, a secretive organization feared by the people of the Commonwealth that is based below the ruins of the Commonwealth Institute of Technology, or CIT. The player character then kills Kellogg and retrieves a cybernetic implant from his brain. You can't not kill Kellogg.
Yeah, I think that's the wackest shit. You can't play a pacifist in Fallout 4.
I don't think you can.
There's no way. The only way to not directly kill Kellogg is by literally cheesing the engine.
I could be wrong when I say this, but early on I remember talking to Mama Murphy and she's like, "Give me some of that good shit, honey, and I'll fucking tell you what you want." And I was like, "Here's some drugs, whore." She was like, "Thanks." And she tells you the code to turn off the Courser. When you had to go get the Courser chip?
Yeah.
She tells you the code to turn off the Courser's brain and shut him down.
That's really cool.
So because you can do that through a lot of the game, if I understand correctly, but if you do it too much, you kill her.
Yeah, because she does OD at some point.
So Marcy Long is an essential NPC, but Mama Murphy isn't. Also, Mama Murphy's concept art is way cooler. She was sitting in an iBot.
I have the art book back home, but I don't have it with me. Damn it! But yeah, her concept art is so much cooler than what they ended up using.
It's either an old Mr. Handy or it's an iBot, and it's way fucking cooler because she would float around.
Yeah, I think it's an old Mr. Handy.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, but excuse me. I wouldn't be surprised if you can like go to Kellogg and be like, execute order 1705.9 Grandma Edition, and he just goes "Ew," and shuts off.
Wait, whoa. Kellogg?
Yeah, because he's like part synth. I'm not saying that you can do this. I don't know if you can do this.
Wait.
I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised, but then again, this game was so far removed from an RPG, they gave you a fucking voiced protagonist.
All right. Get back to the lore.
After some consultation with Nick and Piper, they had to Good Neighbor where they first encountered John Hancock, the self-appointed cool mayor of the town, and get help from Dr. Amari, a scientist skilled in neuroscience. The doctor assists the sole survivor in viewing the dead mercenaries' memories and discovering that the Institute uses teleportation as the means of travel between their facilities and the surface. During their hunt for Kellogg, the survivor also witnesses the arrival of the Brotherhood of Steel in an airship called the Pridwin, which becomes their mobile airship headquarters. Imagine being a doctor who's skilled in neuroscience in the wasteland. No anesthetic.
I was just thinking about that. Where do you get that knowledge? How do you get that?
How do you practice?
Yeah.
Like, you can't just, like, get a feral, tie him to a table, and, like, all right, let's see if it works.
Scoop some brains out, right?
Yeah.
Where do you get the qualifications?
Like,
you could read as many books as you want. It's more effective to learn.
you need workplace experience.
You need workplace experience. Where do you get that neuroscience experience? I mean, it's not like you're going to go to college in the wasteland.
Yeah. Probably, if they did go to a college, it's probably the same school that all the writers for Fallout 4 went to. Hi-oh! After viewing Kellogg's memories, which is the best fucking part of this game.
Oh, that part is so cool.
There's a part, and I've talked about this on here before, there's a part where it shows Kellogg and his mom, and I want to say outside of the window is the Golden Gate Bridge, and I'm probably wrong because I think that's
can I correct you, actually?
Yes, please.
So the scene where the Golden Gate Bridge is out the window is actually when Kellogg is in San Francisco or whatever with his wife and daughter, and they're talking about how they just moved there.
Okay, cool. But I remember, I'm not sure what part of the NCR he's originally from, Big Boy Connie here, Mr. Frosted Flakes, but when it shows him and his mom, he's in pajamas, like playing on a bed with something, and his mom's sitting next to him. You can hear the radio talking about the NCR. And there's a scene where you get to like walk around his memories where you can hear his dad like, "Where the fuck are my boots? I'm going out." And you go over to the door and it just says dad. It doesn't say door. Yeah. It doesn't say the event. It just says dad.
I remember that.
And I remember thinking that was so fucking powerful that he has so repressed his father that he has just reduced his father down to a speaking door. And I thought that was really intense.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best fucking part of the game. It really, really is. And to see him kind of relive his life and get a deeper appreciation. And then once you have the fucking piece of him inside of Nick talks through him and then just never does it again.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's so weird.
Like, were you foreshadowing something? I was like, oh shit, this is going to come back. Like, this is going to come back.
Where Nick gets like the red eyes for a sec.
Do his eyes change?
I thought they do.
His eyes don't change that I remember, but he just is like, hope he got you were looking for inside my head.
Dude, even if it was an optional thing where if you took him to the Institute, he would turn back into Kellogg and be like, oh shit, we're home. Or even this, you turn on the Institute and then he turns into Kellogg Nick, and if you don't have a high enough charisma, you have to talk. You can't talk Nick back out of Kellogg.
All right, wait. Let's headcanon things after we talk about
You're
the
right.
lore.
You're correct. I'm sorry.
Because we're almost done. There's only like, what, 3 more little sections?
Yeah. Sorry. After viewing Kellogg's memory, the player character is tasked to go to the glowing sea. the ground zero of the nuclear blast during the intro sequence to find Brian Virgil, an ex-Institute scientist who specializes in researching the forced evolutionary virus, who escaped and has gone into hiding to get help in infiltrate. Say it for me. Infiltrating. Thank you. The shadowy organization Vigil. Shout out to Vigil. Virgil, now mutated into a super mutant by prolonged FEV exposure, mentions that the player must kill an Institute Courser, one of the most advanced creations in the Institute, designed to be stronger, faster, smarter, harder, better, faster, stronger than average human beings, to get a special chip from it in order to access the Institute. Once the chip is retrieved, the player character is directed to find the Railroad, a secret organization that works to free synths from the Institute and give them a normal life out there in the Commonwealth. Since only one of its members, Tinker Tom, can decode the chip and get the frequency code used by the Institute to teleport. The player character then heads back to Virgil, who gives them a blueprint of a device that hijacks the frequency of the Institute's molecular relay. After retrieving the blueprints, the survivor must seek assistance from one of three factions: the Minutemen, the Railroad, and the BOS. Once the device is built, the player character...
more like POS.
Once the device is built, the player character infiltrates the Institute, finds their son, and after finding a synth-based young man named Sean... to find their son, then finds a synth-based young man named Sean, it is revealed that the real Sean was kidnapped in 60 years prior to the sole survivor's release from cryogenic sleep, and is now an old man who goes by Father, as well as the current director of the Institute. From now on, the sole survivor faces a choice that will significantly affect the Commonwealth and its people. They can work against Sean by assisting one of the factions, the Railroad, in destroying the Institute and liberating the synths, the Brotherhood of Steel to exterminate all synths along with the Institute, the Minutemen in destroying the Institute, and the Brotherhood of Steel if made hostile to the player character, to protect the Commonwealth. Alternatively, they can side with Sean and help the Institute secure the Commonwealth by destroying the Railroad and the Brotherhood of Steel. The Minutemen can persuade to ally with the Institute after a few difficult speech checks. Any of the four choices result in Sean's death, this being due to either the cancer he had developed or killing your own child, which should have been more effective, should have been more salient. And at the end...
I never really, remembered that he had cancer.
Yeah, you sit down at a board meeting and he's like, I'm dying to death. And everyone's like,
You need to be the new Institute father.
Yeah, which I want to talk about that in a minute, because Chris and I we were talking about a theory we both had. At the very end, the synth child, Sean, will refer to the sole survivor as a parent and asks them if he can go live with them anywhere in the Commonwealth to be family. If the sole survivor agrees, the synth child then gives the player character a holotape from the real Sean with a message that differs depending on the player character sides with the Institute or not. In the holotape, the real Sean tells his parents that he wishes they would give the synth child a chance to live as a family, since Sean himself has never had a chance to live with the sole survivor. The sole survivor then contemplates the events that transpired and says that this isn't the world I wanted, but it's the one I found myself in, says a voiced protagonist, and that they are now ready for anything that comes my way because they know that war never changes. Look at that. Can you believe that Fallout 4 is happening over there? That's like the level of writing in this fucking... Alright. So...
Come on, Fallout 4.
There's some notes here.
I wanted Fallout 4 to be better.
I can only imagine, the feelings I have for Fallout 4 is, what happens when your kid comes home and is like, I'm gonna go get a liberal arts degree.
Oh, come on, dude.
You know how I feel about Fallout 4?
How do you feel about
You know,
Fallout 4?
It's not the game I wanted, but it was the one I found myself in.
Todd never changes.
God damn. Do you want to hear some notes, some little fun facts real quick?
You can give me some tidbits.
The Lone Wanderer from Fallout 3 and the Sole Survivor are seen being accompanied by a dog in the promotional material for the game, which I believe is the only time that they are seen accompanied by anything. Anyone, any person, any living being.
I think it would have been more appropriate for it to be Cogsworth.
Maybe.
Because, like, Fallout 3 had the dog.
Mm-hmm.
New Vegas was the NCR Ranger armor. And since, like, Fallout 4 kind of, like, focuses more on, like, tech and stuff, I feel like it would have been better to have it as being a robot.
You know, to be completely honest with you, you know that Chris, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. That really high res render of the synth that has like half the face blown off.
Yeah.
That should have been the cover of Fallout 4.
Oh,
Wow,
yeah, like the one in the art
yeah.
book.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been. Hold on, I have my copy right here. Here's my steelbook that I spent money on. It shouldn't have been a Brotherhood. It shouldn't have been a Brotherhood power armor. It shouldn't have been T60. It shouldn't have been. It should have been that high-res render of a synth. Because this implies you're going to go with the Brotherhood. This implies that the Brotherhood is the correct ending.
It'd
And,
be
like-
even cooler. I mean, this is kind of cheesy, but like maybe literally like split the screen in half, so like half of it's a synth face, half of it's a power armor helmet.
Something. Like, if I think that synth head, because I got why they did it with 3. 3 was more of a reference to the early games, especially Fallout 1. And Fallout 2 was a tribal version of power armor, so it almost kind of mirrored how it should have been with 3. If they were paying homage to that, the next one being the desert wasteland game that it was, you have the Mojave Ranger outfit, so it fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is just. I mean, my copy. Let me see my copy of 76 while we're here. Fuck it. Here's my other steelbook. It's. Like, this is the Tricentenary edition, and it's just...
Or the Tricentennial, maybe?
Whatever, I don't fucking know words. 300 years.
Sorry.
For 76. And I don't know what the... I think the other one just looks like the game itself. It just looks like a Vault 76 logo. Like, it doesn't have anything special. But, like, at least that tells you more about the game from the cover. Like, this, the themes of Americana are here. Where when you have, like, just the Vault logo, it shows you like, oh, okay, we're leaving this vault. And much like the game, the cover has nothing. So here's a thing. The Sole Survivor is, regardless of gender, a recipient of classical education that has no inconsistency with pre-war history, meaning they are the only protagonists in the series who would be fully aware of historical flaws in the knowledge of other characters. This can be displayed when meeting Mo Corin, and he corrects him on what his idea of baseball is. Did you ever do that part?
Yeah.
I have, yes.
Where he's like, yeah, swatters. You get inside of a ring, and then you beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
I don't understand why this is a note. Once the Sole Survivor's sex is chosen, the other will be the non-player character. Yeah.
No shit.
Dude.
Cogsworth can refer to the player character by name, as Bethesda has recorded over 1,000 popular names in the game that include both real names and joke names. Vince is not one of those names. Neither is Vincent.
I wonder if Olive is.
It probably is. Vincent
and Vinny are.
Ugh, gross.
I know.
What the fuck? You couldn't drop the NT. Really? Come on, Emil. I'm not even gonna say come on, Todd, because Todd, he has not fuck. He's just like, yeah, do it.
Chris, did you use your name? Because Chris is one of them.
I actually, I think for like my first character and for a lot of characters afterwards, I actually use my middle names. So either Lee or Arnold. So
oh, cool.
Yeah, I got really used to hearing Codsworth say either Mr. Lee or Mr. Arnold.
Those are both very cool.
Right? I like them.
Come on, Mr. Arnold.
Mr. Arnold.
Monster. There's a lot of like funny ones.
Mr. Fuckface. That's one of them.
Nuke, Nova, North.
Mr. Corvo is one of them.
Because of
Yeah, because of Dishonored.
yeah.
Is Dovahkiin one?
Actually, they literally
There's only
might
2
be.
U names.
What about Dovahkiin?
No.
Whoa. All right, let me get through the last couple of these real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
According to dialogue from Jack Cabot and their past accomplishments in the pre-war, the Soul Survivor's birth date is reasonably anywhere between the 2040s and the 2050s. Which, whatever. I mean, you had a birthday in Fallout 3. But you weren't voiced. He's the only player character to ever have lived in the pre-war era. In Far Harmer, Dima questions if the Soul Survivor is really a synth instead of a human. The response can vary from complete denial to humble acceptance of a possible truth. We're going to talk about that later. The Soul Survivor's title is technically incorrect. Sean also left the vault alive.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's really
I
funny.
never even thought of that.
I can just picture like a team of writers. Excuse me, Emil. Yeah, Sean left as well. I don't give a fuck. Copy the ending of Fallout 3.
There's another one.
Another one.
During dialogue options with Roger Warwick, the Soul Survivor can reveal that they grew up in the Boston area. That's another thing. If I'm from Boston, how come I don't talk like a fucking shouterhead? You know what I mean?
Wait, can we get your Boston accent again, please?
Why don't I talk like I'm a wicked smart You know what I'm saying? Like, how come I don't have a dumb fucking accent of these shitty water people?
Why are you just voiced as Peter Griffin?
Like, fucking, there's 3 characters in the game that sound like they're actually from Boston, and I get it. It's 200 years of travel, and civilization died, but, like, the accent would still be there somewhere. The
only characters that actually sound like they're Boston are, like, the ones at, like, the tap house, like, in that area.
Dude, fucking, what are the tribes from Honest Hearts? The Dead Horses and the Sorrows. The White Legs are the bad guys. The Dead Horses and the Sorrows. They even talk to you with, like, some weird, like, tribal, like, Auslander. Like,
they have their own, like, words, and, like, there's actually a culture that they had thought of to like, put into the game.
This is just like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking, I don't even, Boston, the fucking, go
I live in Boston.
Fuck you. Like,
MIT, the fuck.
Fucking really enunciate those vowels. I
Gotta
tell
push
you,
those vowels right through your nose.
fucking. The last good president we had was Kennedy. Ugh. Like why is there no, like, there's like a couple fat dudes with mustaches that sound like they're from Boston. How come there's not more?
Hold up. Are we officially out of the lore?
Hold on.
Because I think we're already into Vince's bitching hour.
That hasn't been the whole thing. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me just give a quick look-see. So there's something here. When you interact with the dog ball in the beginning of the game, the Soul Survivor say you're never gonna find that dog. Implying the Soul Survivor owned a dog before the Great War. Dialogue. This is when I never fucking... Dialogue between the Soul Survivor and their spouse reveals that Sean was conceived after the two had sex at a park. When Nate suggests going to the park...
I knew that.
You knew this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Nate suggests going to the park, Nora responds with, "Oh, right, the park, with you, because I want to get pregnant again." So, just do it on the bench.
Yeah, and if you're the
Do you remember
male,
the bench dance, Chris?
what?
Do you remember the bench dance?
The bench.
Atomic Radio Hour